This is Sean. What I've got here is a 1999 SC2, and the previous owners hit a curb with it and they messed up, they bent the subframe, and their local mechanic said it needed a new subframe, needed new control arms, and maybe even a steering knuckle, and quoted them a price of $1,283. Well, we can do a lot better than that. And so what I want to do today is walk through the subframe removal and replacement. And what I happen to have over here is an engine and subframe complete that I picked up off Craigslist yesterday. And so here's the driver's side, and here's where your wheel is, obviously. Here is the subframe, the engine cradle here. There's an 18mm bolt that goes up through here. You've got your tie rod end here. You've got your lower control arm ball joint there. Your strut up here, obviously. Your strut to knuckle bolts here. Your rotor. Your brake calipers. Your sway bar here. And then up in here, this is kind of a deep well here. This is the front of the engine cradle where that hooks on. And so what we're looking at here is kind of the engine and the subframe without the car involved. And so if you notice too, we've got the radiator here that just lifts out and it fits into that hole right there. So when we go to take this subframe, this engine cradle, when we go to drop this out of the vehicle, which is sitting over here, we're going to need to support the radiator, the engine and transmission, and we're probably going to try and take it out just like this one is. Also, you've got a couple of bolts right here that, depending on if you're going to leave your steering rack in or not, these are 15s, I think, that you can either leave in and take out, or you can take these out and leave the steering in. Okay, I have taken the strut out, I've taken the CV axles out, and I've taken loose the power steering lines here, right here, and I got rid of my radiator assembly, which is sitting over here. Now all I need to do to get this engine off of the cradle is remove this lower dog bone malt right here. There's that. And then I've got the transmission mount on the other side. $10mm bolts here. And that should be it for holding the engine to the cradle. Let's see if we can jack this thing off of here now. There we are. And now I'll remove the cradle, the lower control arm, and the steering rack on the car, and hopefully I'll be able to just swap them right out. And the SC's got 175,000. This came out of an 02, and so I'll use all the suspension, including the struts over here, back into the 99. Alright, here we are at the car. And what I've done is I've taken the front wheel off, I've taken the tie rod loose, the CV joint out of there, and I've also taken the steering loose, and I had a couple steering lines in there, you can see them dripping, that I had to take loose. Up on top, I lifted up the engine with my engine hoist, and then I've got it supported with these 2x4s and some straps going across there. Same thing over here on the passenger side. Got the engine cradle now is loose. Took out the 4 bolts, and so now it should come right out of there. And there it is, and now it can slide forward and come out. Also notice that I had a couple wiring connectors right here that I had to remove, loosen up. Also, I had a wiring connector right here that I had to loosen, and I've got the radiator supported with some twine here.